You have to figure out how to build great teams, right? The talent acquisition, the onboarding, the learning development programs, being connected to the purpose and values and the culture of the organization is all really important. Without that, you can have a great sort of go-to-market strategy, but if you can't figure out the people side of the business, you'll never scale it.
You know, the dental support organization came about maybe about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, where it was called something else at the time, I remember.
DPMs.
Yeah.
Dental practice management.
Dental practice management. And that's where, I guess that's when you guys started, right? You and all the guys.
Yeah.
And that, they have evolved obviously over the years, and today we see DSOs, we call them DSOs, occupy almost a 20% market share, and growing at a pace which I don't even know. Are we going to be at 50 or 80 or I don't know.
I don't know.
That crystal ball is. Some days I figure it's going to be all of it, but I think some of it will survive as well. But one of the things that I see with what's happening with you and the new evolution of TAG, which is the Aspen Group, and the integration of healthcare, which is urgent care, through WellNow. And then Clear Choice is still connected to dental.
A very different brand.
But
right?
a very different brand.
Yeah.
And then Chapter, which is
a
the
medical aesthetics business, yeah.
The aesthetics business.
Yeah.
And you're now, creating almost from a DSO, you're evolving into an HSO, which is a health support organization.
Yeah, we need a new acronym. I'm not sure what it is as a category yet, but we have evolved. There's no doubt about it.
And what is that? What does that look like? Like, what did running Aspen Dental Management Incorporated, right? It was ADMI.
ADMI, yeah.
ADMI,
yeah.
And that evolved into TAG, the Aspen Group.
Yeah.
What is that evolution like? Did you think that it would be easy? Not easy, but some of the stuff that you did building Aspen as a scalable platform, did you think you could kind of take those learnings and put them into other verticals? Was that the thought?
That was the thesis, right?
Okay.
Could we become? I mean, listen. Aspen still has a tremendous amount of runway and white space, and it's the 800-pound gorilla, and there's a lot to do there. But we also thought we could do more. I mean, if you think about building out 950 locations from scratch, you're going to be pretty good at real estate.
Correct.
You're going to be pretty good at human resources.
Correct.
You're going to be pretty good at learning development. You're going to be pretty good at talent acquisition, right? You're going to have some capable leaders in the organization. You're going to be pretty good at marketing and communications, right? And you start to think about all revenue cycle management, insurance operations. I mean, the list goes on and on. Field management.
Correct.
Right, the list goes on, and you say, okay, can you take that and those core capabilities and apply them to other verticals or adjacent opportunities within the category? Can you apply them in a way that we think can continue to scale those businesses in a very differentiated way? But for areas of healthcare that are similar to us, right? And for companies or platforms that are similar to us, meaning, do they know their patient or customer? Are they brand forward?
Correct.
Are they solving problems?
Correct.
Right? Did they create a platform that we believe we can scale? And those things I think are really important as we continue to grow TAG, which is the evolution from Aspen Dental Management.
Right.
So that's where we are today.
But how transferable has it been? For example, let's talk about WellNow, which is your urgent care platform that has grown
7 locations
from
to
7
130
locations to 130
in 4 years.
In 4 years.
Yeah.
It's growing faster than what Aspen Dental did, right?
Yes.
4 years ago, at much faster rate.
Yeah.
Is it because you're leveraging all these?
Yeah. Leveraging, and you're not afraid to make the investments. Like, even when we first bought WellNow, like, we're going through some stuff and we're learning some things. I'm like, well, let's go build a real estate team. We know we're going to build out sites. Like, we can't. This wasn't about a leverage play. Yes, we want to leverage the center of excellence.
Yeah.
But you got to build teams. You got to build teams, and so that has to be a part of it. And when you've sort of been there and done it, now you say, okay, like you see a little bit of that playbook, right? And so now you say, okay, let's go do that. Let's lean in. Let's make these investments because we have a platform that we know works. We know who the patient is. We understand the provider model. Let's go at it.
You're almost taking it's almost plug and play. Not entirely, obviously. There's some insurance regulations a little different.
There's nuances.
All nuances. Sure. But for the most part, I mean, you know how to run a call center. And you know how to take new patient phone calls. Right. You know how to triage those
things,
cases. And urgent care is not that different. You know, patients are
calling. You got finance departments. You got FP&A. You got the same. Like you're looking at the same key performance. Different key performance indicators, but you know how to sort of process that in a way that it gives you an insight to the business. And I think listen, all those things relative to things that we thought we were good at has played out. Again, nuances, always learnings. Right. But they played out pretty well.
How does that? So do you really think that you could have these new entities eclipse what you guys did with Aspen Dental? Do you think that there's a possibility of that happening?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think there are categories that we're looking at. I think are sort of behind where dentistry is still. Right. And I think you can. I could see a situation where you could sort of apply the learnings at Aspen, because you got to remember in the early years, we had our foot on the gas. I mean, we were growing as fast as any other DSO, but it was all relative, right? And so when you start to think about what you can do now, given the size of the organization,
sure.
First of all, you can go get a bigger platform to the extent it exists, and then help scale it. Or it's small, like chapter small, but we have big plans. And so the organization's bigger, it's got more resources. So to scale it, in my view, is easier than where we were with Aspen, 15 years ago.
This is so exciting to see an organization take their core learnings, their core competencies, apply them to similar verticals in healthcare, and really truly deliver exceptional value to the consumer. I remember an average visit to an ER cost like $900.
Yeah, it was $1,000.
$1,000.
Right, yeah.
And then you were able to bring that cost down to like $100, right?
130, it depends on,
depending
120,
on what it is,
$130, yeah.
$120.
And you see them in 40 minutes versus 4 hours.
And the disruption is just on a monumental level.
Right.
And that's what I think TAG represents. It's the true disruptive innovation model, as Clay Christian talked about at Harvard, is like where you're driving tremendous value to the consumer, while giving them better access to care, more affordable access to care, and in a way that they actually will consume it because of convenience, and truly change their lives. I mean, I think part of the problem with access to care is it's so damn difficult to get to somebody. It's hard to get a dental appointment today. It's hard to go into the ER. That's right. It's hard.
It is hard. No, I definitely agree with that. And that's why the other side of the equation is just as important. You have to figure out how to build great teams, right? The talent acquisition, the onboarding, the learning development programs, being connected to the purpose and values and the culture of the organization is all really important. Without that, you can have a great sort of go-to-market strategy, but if you can't figure out the people side of the business, you'll never scale it. And for us, again, I think always opportunities to get better, but those have been strengths of the organization.